Kia ora. I'm Suitaloa Simon Young, and this is One Ancestor at a time where I'm seeking to understand the world we now live in through the lens of family history. And it occurred to me that you may well want to ask, why? Why am I doing this? There are quite a few reasons, so let me take you through them. The first reason is intensely personal. My wife and I and our siblings are, to all intents and purposes, a genealogical cul-de-sac. No kids, and yet lots of knowledge and insight to share. We have a legacy, but it's not biological. I never felt this quite so strongly as in the months after my mother's death, when we had a huge sorting table in the living room of Mum's house with all the documents and photos from previous generations. Talk about overwhelm. This is an AI artist's impression, but hey, it's not too far from the reality. On one table we had the big and small moments of many generations, all with something to say to the right people, focusing on the right thing. So I said to myself, wouldn't it be nice if I could write a book or something for the children of my cousins? It's their story, this is where they came from. And then the more I looked at history and at the overarching themes, I realized, there is a story in here that's relevant to everybody. This is how a legacy is formed, not through descendants, but through the way we steward our stories. I love history, I always have done, but I haven't loved the traditional way that history is taught. While I was getting low grades in social studies at high school, I was also busy creating, completely on my own initiative, a magazine all about history. It was called History Magazine. I still love the premise, history but in the style of a modern magazine. So instead of just reading a dry history about Richard the Lionheart, you've got an exclusive interview with him, featuring, of course, actual quotes from actual historians. Look at this front cover. I hand painted this before discovering the high-tech magic of the photocopier. Man, those were the days. But anyway, I guess my current idea with One Ancestor at a time is still the same, that history is as fascinating and vibrant as a magazine or a talk show because it's full of people and their motivations. Sometimes it just takes a different way of looking at things to bring out the key drama in the story. So that's reasons 1 and 2. First, non-biological legacy, and second, a new approach to history. My third reason is very specific to my country of birth, Aotearoa, New Zealand. We're currently in the midst of a debate that really cuts to the heart of our identity. This debate is ostensibly about Māori, but I feel like it's actually calling into sharp relief the kind of unfinishedness of pakeha identity. We are not Indigenous, much as some would like to claim so, and yet this is our only home. That's psychologically difficult, especially when we don't know our roots. So I believe this rootlessness is behind a lot of the defensive and offensive attitudes that I've seen from some Pākehā towards Māori. And yet if I just come out and say it, I'm not going to persuade anyone. Those already on the same side as me will feel vindicated, and those who feel defensive will continue to feel defensive. Lose-lose. So I want to back down off my high horse and humbly and simply share my story and how I reached some of the conclusions I've reached. Because there was a time when I might have agreed with those who are saying we are one people, everybody should be treated the same, and so on. That's because I had not really heard and understood the perspective of Māori. I had not reflected on my own culture because it was too dominant and it didn't invite inspection and reflection. It's just like the famous palm olive commercial of the 80s.
You're soaking in it. Relax. You're soaking in it.
I was soaking in it. It's not just a New Zealand thing. Colonisation is a spectre that rises over the whole world, and I don't think a lot of Pākehā know that. Not really. We are really soaking in it. People from indigenous cultures know about colonialism. It's unavoidable. But most people of European descent know of it, know that it's a bad thing, but then we don't know quite what to do with it. We feel generally bad, bordering on guilty, but then what? So I want to help us confront these feelings head on. Try to resolve them into a sense of compassion and purpose, because there's nothing good about having ongoing second-hand guilt hanging over you. But there's everything good about being motivated to right the wrongs of the past that still remain, and they really do remain. Of course, some people of European descent go all the way in the other direction, parroting outdated ideas that say colonization was good for the colonized because, well, look at all this technology you get to use. That is a really dodgy argument for two reasons. Firstly, it assumes that the violent subjugation that comes with colonization is the only way to acquire said technology. Guess what? It isn't. Second, it assumes that all this great technology is objectively good. Yet, from climate change to social media addiction, there are negative, unforeseen consequences from all of these things. Anyway, I'm ranting. Better for me to show, not just tell, the impact of colonization. That's why my journey takes me around the world: New Zealand, Australia, India, Ireland, Scotland. There is a pattern of colonizing behavior that makes me feel uncomfortable, and I want to explore it, not avoid it. The reason I want to explore it is that those who forget history are doomed to repeat it. One huge thing I've come across on this journey is that life is complicated. It's very seldom black and white, and there are not always clear good guys and bad guys. Some of my ancestors were part of organizations that I'm not proud of, and yet to their thinking and the prevailing thinking of their time, nothing was wrong. The lesson for me today is to reflect: what is socially acceptable now that will be abhorrent to future generations? Or what is taboo now that will be amusing to future generations? My ancestors worked in the East India Company, the world's first giant multinational corporation, which facilitated the British Empire's takeover of India. Not surprisingly, most British people have completely forgotten this company, but most Indian people know it as the tool of imperialism. And yet, to my ancestors, it was probably seen as a good thing, despite maybe having a few bad apples. What this does is give me pause about my place and my world right now. What am I being part of that history may frown upon? Consumer culture? Eating meat? Capitalism? I honestly don't know fully, and that's okay. It's not about knowing, but about being willing to know and willing to admit when I don't know. There's far too much certainty in the world today about really nuanced things. What happened to our humility? We're cut off from one another, isolated into our echo chambers, reinforcing our beliefs more and more loudly. I want to be one of the dissenting voices that reminds us we don't know everything. We do know some things. Let us look and listen, and let us hold our conclusions lightly. I'm going to get others on this channel too, sometimes subject matter experts, historians, etc. But also I'll be speaking to relatives, near and far, about our shared ancestors. It'll be done in the spirit of learning, and no doubt some of the people I have on here may not agree with me on all points, which is okay. We're family, we can work it out if there's respect. So, those are the reasons so far for doing one ancestor at a time. Non-biological legacy, a new approach to history, combating historical amnesia and creating a hopefully safe space where we can actually explore and learn instead of reinforcing our positions with sound bites. And finally, number 4, I want to travel the world, and I want to take you with me. In fact, somewhere between wanting to write a book and creating a YouTube channel was this idea that, wouldn't this make a cool TV show, traveling from New Zealand to Australia to the UK to Germany to Turkey to India? But then I remembered, hey, we're in 2024, and you make a TV show by first getting a following on social media. So instead of hitting up the TV networks with a proposal, I thought ahead, what are they going to want to know? They're going to want to see a following. How many people are interested in this? Guess what? So do I. I wanted to know that too. So here I am, putting it out and finding out. So anyway, God willing, the plan is to explore all those places I mentioned and more as I trace the tree back to its various roots. But the great thing about this format is it will flex and evolve as I do, as new information comes to light and new connections. I am really excited to be able to share this with you. So those are my 4 reasons for developing one ancestor at a time. I would love to hear from you about this. Do these reasons resonate with you? What are the stories you would like to tell? If you like this video, please hit the like button and please subscribe to stay with me on the journey. This is one ancestor at a time. I've been Sui Taloa Simon Young. See you next time.